Hello there, good afternoon. Just got done streaming on my main channel and I thought, hey, I want to watch Spider-Verse one more time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to see it in 4DX. I'm looking forward to seeing how good this is in 4DX. It's a last chance as well because with Transformers coming out and The Flash coming out soon, it's going to lose IMAX and 4DX screenings, probably all of them, because there's only one of those each in the cinema I go to. But yeah, last chance to see it in 4DX, and I thought I want to go and see it because I'd imagine this would be quite crazy in 4DX. So hopefully it's worth it. I'm gonna go and obviously I know what happens now, but obviously I love rewatching movies that I really enjoy, like the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse is so good. Like the only real downside is the cliffhanger. Could have been done better, I feel, but such an amazing movie, and I cannot wait to experience the action scenes. That spider chase scene in 4DX sounds awesome. So let's go and see it. It's a Sunday afternoon, it's a nice sunny day, and we're gonna spend it indoors in a cinema screen. Yes, and I'm gonna come home and eat some salmon. So I'm gonna be indoors most of the day in 30-degree weather. Absolute worst thing about British summer is the fact that because it's cold most of the year, for like 10, 11 months of the year, it's cold or freezing. So we don't have air conditioning and it costs far too much to install it, and it just costs too much because we only get like 2 weeks of sun a year, basically, pretty much. A bit more than that sometimes, but at the most maybe a month. But we get most of the year cold. But when it actually gets hot, the worst thing is because our homes are built in a certain way to keep heat in, our homes are just naturally like warmer because we need it because it's cold most of the year. But when it finally gets hot, you can turn all the heating off. It's still boiling indoors, absolutely boiling, and it's the worst at night. It's the worst at night because you're trying to sleep, and no matter what you try, it's just way too hot to sleep at night. So that's the worst thing about this sort of weather. I know like a lot of Americans and Australians and Africans, a lot of people around the world, they look at 30 degrees and they think like that's nothing. Even in, obviously Americans do Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's 30 degrees Celsius. Americans and other countries will look at it and it's just like, that's not hot. Yeah, to you it's not, but to us, we're used to cold weather most of the year. And then our homes are built to, you know, our homes are built to be warm. So when it finally gets hot and we can't sleep at night, it feels, first of all, we're not used to the hot weather. And second, our homes are not built to sustain it. And we don't even have air conditioning unless we like go to a like office building or something. So yeah, such is life, such is life. Anyway, let me head on my way. Do you like my collection? You probably can't make out what movies are there, but there is a lot of 4K. City won the Champions League last night, which is big for them. It's their first time ever. I work with a Man City fan. Apart from the one I work with, there's my bus. I need to run. For the one I work with, I never see like Man City fans in London. I've seen 2 today already. Unbelievable. Be off a rather packed bus. Speaking of packed, I booked my tickets on the bus, right? And I say tickets, so the seats are occupied. So we got almost full screening, which is great. One of the best things about cinema experiences for me is hearing other people's reactions, especially in comedies and like superhero movies, especially with all these crazy things that happen. So I just love hearing people's reactions. So couple that with the 4D experience, we got a good time. Even better hearing reactions because I know what's going to happen. So that's another thing. So yeah, this will be a fun time. I assume the cinema inside will be quite packed because there's a church that rents out some screens on Sundays. There it is in all its glory. Still got like 25 minutes, so I'm gonna go to Morrison's, see if I can get a bit of grub because it's cheaper. I don't plan on getting nachos. I love nachos. Not planning on getting them today, so I can get something cheaper at Morrison's and then eat it before the movie. So that all works out well. No 3D though, by the way. Like 4DX can be 3D or 2D depending. It's just 2D, but we still get the nice 4DX experience. Plus, I'm not a fan of 3D. I remember when it first came out, it was such an awesome, amazing thing, right? But 3D is kind of like gone stale to me. It's gone boring. So I'm not really surprised that nowadays there's IMAX 2D, 4DX 2D, because you don't need the 3D. It's not even that good. Sometimes it's good, like that Spy Kids movie, Avatar. Sometimes 3D is great, but most movies, it's really a miss. I'm glad it's not 3D. Plus I had to pay for glasses, so no thank you. That's what I like about IMAX. For IMAX 3D you don't pay for glasses, but still it's not worth it even if you don't pay. Never buy a baguette from Morrison's. Stick to their sandwiches. Their baguettes aren't worth it. For baguettes, go Tesco or something. I had a baguette I think it was ham and cheese one. The bread was so dry, bro. I'm just like, what? I should have got the prawn mayo. Chocolate is evolutionary. Twix, this could be a thumbnail. Twix White is unreal. Let me have it before it melts.
Sure thing, Spider-Man. The all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 and 6.
That was something else. Start off, they played a couple trailers in 4DX. One was Elementals. I have no interest in watching that new Pixar movie, but the trailer in 4DX was really fun. So if you want to see Elementals, you might want to see it in 4DX. Just based on the trailer, it looks really fun. Anyway, yeah, Spider-Verse. Get ready from the start, because when Gwen plays the drums in the very first scene, every time her stick hits the drum, you're getting shaken around, and she's drumming really hard. So you get shaken around for the first 2 minutes. Just a warning. And that's a lot of the action scenes. You get shaken around a lot. It's a bit too much, actually. It's fun. It's fun to an extent, but it's also a little too much. But yeah, you feel the hits and punches. But because it's Spider-Man, because it's Spider-Men and Spider-Women, they're flying around, webbing around everywhere. So you're constantly shaking. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty intense. I did enjoy it, but it can be over the top, that's for sure. There's one issue I had. So without spoiling it at all, there's a scene where Miguel O'Hara, who's Spider-Man 2099, he tells Miles a big secret, right? He reveals something to Miles. It's a big scene on top of this building, right? And in this scene, because the effects are so... Because like when it's windy, the machine will start blowing and stuff. The impact isn't the same of that scene. The impact isn't the same because you're hearing the machinery and the 4D effects, that you're not hearing the speech as much. You're still hearing it, but it's very quiet compared to normally watching it. I feel like the effects, the 4D effects, they do drown out the dialogue sometimes. Most of the time it's fine, but that particular scene is a pretty big scene in the movie towards the end, and it just feels like the speech is too quiet, but it's mainly because the 4DX is too loud. But it's good effects. There's good water effects. There's a scene towards the end where it's raining and you're feeling raindrops. It's not properly spraying on you, but you do feel drops on your hand. I thought that was a pretty cool feature, because I feel like water effects are underutilized, that's for sure. And there's a scene of like bubbles, and you see bubbles, actual bubbles flying around, but you don't get affected by that unless you're in the front 5 rows or something. So I didn't really feel that, but I saw the bubbles, which was cool. Yeah, overall it's good effects. It's really fun, and it's just the main thing is some important dialogue gets drowned out. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the action scenes, you get shaken around a lot. If you like that, that's great. I like it as well, but it was a little over the top for me. But yeah, overall it's a good experience, and I really had a good time. So yeah, that was fun. Although I wouldn't recommend, if you're watching it for the first time, that's not what I'd recommend personally. I think as a first time seeing it in 4DX, you're definitely going to miss a lot more than you would in a normal screening or IMAX screening. Just so you know, the best way to watch it is IMAX, and I've watched it in 3 different formats, so IMAX is the best version. But yeah, I had a good time though. It's still a 9 out of 10 movie, and it's absolutely incredible. So this is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see you.